Hello viewers, you welcome to another news hour on Jamano Media and Products. We first begin with our headlines. APRC speaks on Barrow's new cabinet. Gambia at World Embassy tour in Washington, D.C. Former Gambia Petroleum Managing Director trial commences today. Two Central Bank of the Gambia Deputy Governors leave. Those were the headlines. We now have the news in detail. The spokesman of the former ruling APRC has approved President Adama Barrow's new cabinet appointments. Over a dozen political parties and independent entities, including the former ruling APRC, backed President Adama Barrow and his NPP in the last election, some of them members of the 2016 coalition. Reacting to the new cabinet for the first time, the APRC spokesperson Musa Amulunyasi said his party has been represented with the appointment of Abdoulaye Job, Minister of Petroleum. He wants to start by thanking President Adama Barrow on the appointment of his new cabinet and pray for all those who were appointed for a successful tenure. He said he wants to say that the APRC has seen itself in the new cabinet with the appointment of Abdoulaye Job, who has been very consistent in his contribution and support for the APRC. The former National Assembly member for Fonyi Councillor, who lost his re-election bid to Jamaica's independent candidate, Almami Jiba, said the APRC National Executive recognizes the efforts of Minister Job towards the party and wish him well in his new appointment. So he is happy to tell the Gambian people that APRC have seen themselves in the new cabinet because Abdoulaye Job has been with them 100%. It is true that some of the appointees were APRC before the change, but after the change they stay neutral. But for Mr. Job, he has continuously participating in the party's affairs, he said. Responding to rumors that he is being considered with the next governor of West Coast region, Mr. Nyasi said that he only had the reports, but he will readily accept any appointment if he can deliver there. He is hopeful of being appointed because he knew he have the competence and the knowledge to serve in any position he is entrusted with. Whether it will happen or not, that is left to God, but there is hope, he added. Commenting on his shock parliamentary defeat, Amuli said he took the defeat in good faith and thanked all those who voted for him in 2017 and in the last elections. He can proudly say the 5 years he served in the National Assembly were not in vain. He has served his constituency and the Gambia to the best of his ability, he said. Mr. Nyasi said the APRC position has not changed on the TRRC. There cannot be reconciliation without the APRC being at the forefront, he added. The Gambia Embassy in Washington, D.C. on Saturday started exhibiting Gambian culture to well over 1,000 visitors, including diplomats, investors, and travelers, at the 15th annual Passport D.C. Around the World Embassy tour in Washington, D.C. This is the first time the Gambia took part in the event, which featured a total of 60 embassies and will run until 31st May. Speaking to the Standard on the phone from Washington, D.C., the Charge d'Affaires the Interim, Mr. Mustafa Sose, noted with pleasure the Gambian embassy's participation, with the said helped a great deal to expose Gambian culture to the wider world. Mr. Sose said there was no budget allocated for such an event. The Information and Cultural Affairs Officer Sekou Cisse took the initiative to engage and negotiate with the organizers to successfully waive Gambia's participation fee. They worked on this proposal and had a participation fee waived. Their participation at the event brought huge visibility to their culture and investment opportunities to be tapped. Charge d'Affaires Source remarked, adding that they explained to the visitors and media personnel what makes Gambia unique and a hotspot for tourism and the various investment opportunities. The cultural affairs officer at the embassy, Sekou Cisse, said the event is a milestone for the Gambia with a unique opportunity to expose the country to many people from all parts of the world. Mr. Cisse said the subsequent line of action would be to invite and engage organizations of young American professionals who are the potential future leader with a view to enhancing their understanding of Gambian culture and tradition. The event was held at the premises of the University of Columbia, situated along Connecticut Avenue, Northwest DC. The economic crime trial involving Sekou Dramé, former managing director of Gam Petroleum, and Lamin Gazama, operations manager, will commence today before presiding judge Justice Hadi Roch at the High Court in Banjul. The duo was arraigned last Wednesday, 3rd May 2022, on 8 counts charges including corruption, malpractices, and economic crime. They are accused of pilfering the sum of $20 million at the Gambia Petroleum facility in Lamin Mandinaring. They pleaded not guilty to the charges, and each of the accused persons were granted bail in the sum of $10 million, and the matter was adjourned to today, 9th May 2022, for commencement of trial. The state was represented by counsel M. Dimbalo, whilst the accused persons were represented by lawyers Badu M. Conte and S. Akimbo. Reliable sources have informed the Standard that 2 senior management staff of the Central Bank of the Gambia, whose 5-year contract expired, have not been granted renewal. They are First Deputy Governor Sekou Jabi and the Second Deputy Governor Essa Drame. Meanwhile, our sources further confirmed the supposed report of the outcome of an interim investigation into the recent $155 million battered banknote scandal leaked online to be authentic. Our source, however, said the expiry of the contract of the 2 officials has nothing to do with the scandal. Those were the headlines for our today's newscast. But before we take a leave, let's take a recap on the top stories. APRC speaks on President Barrow's new cabinet. Gambia at World Embassy tour in Washington, D.C. Former Gam Petroleum Managing Director trial commences today. 2 Central Bank of the Gambia Deputy Governors leave. Those were the stories. Thank you for joining us with your presenter, Mariama Gillen. Do have a nice day.